Hi everyone. Today Salesforce Consulting Admin Training Day 26. So today we are going to quickly review the previous session overview. We'll talk about the master detail relationship and what are the observations while creating the master detail relationship and what is the differences between the lookup and master detail relationship, how to convert the lookup to the master detail, how to convert the master detail to the lookup relationship, and we'll talk about the many-to-many relationship and hierarchical relationship. And questions, interview questions. So this is what we are going to focus on today. So quickly, what did we learn in the last session?
Relationships.
Lookup relationship,
Lookup
Dialog configuration, data filter configuration, master detail relationship.
lookup dialog configuration.
Lookup dialog, yes. And the last, I have given the homework candidate object to create it, new candidate object, and creating these fields. Did you guys create it?
Yes, ma'am, created.
Yes, ma'am.
So the object is new object. Candidate. And inside this, these are the fields. And here the standard field is auto number field, which is a reference ID. And we have created all other fields. Now that's the last which we have discussed. Today we are going to see more in detail master detail relationship. So what is a master detail relationship? The last time which I have explained.
It is tightly coupled between two objects.
Tightly coupled between the two objects. So let's take a use case, configure the master detail relationship between the position and candidate object and list out all the observation. So while doing this use case, we will observe what is the different options we have in the master detail relationship, and then we will note down what are the observations are there. So far I have created the candidate object, and we can see here the candidate objects which is available here. And if I click on a new, so right now everything is available in one column. So what I'll do is I'll first update the page layout. So this is my candidate page layout. I'll just do some beautification here. So we have only one section, which is the information. Now let's take I have a contact details, like a contact number, email address. So what I'll do is I'll add one more section here saying that contact details. Contact details in the two column left to right. So in this contact details, I'll place the contact number and the email address. It's a two column. Then we have a technical skills. So I'll add one more section here, technical skills. Click on OK. So I'll drag this technical skills here. Then we have a CTC information. So I'll drag it. I'll say that I'll just mention here CTC. Click OK. I'll place the current CTC and expected CTC here. And also we have a PAN number, passport. So I'll keep it here itself. PAN number, passport. Or else I can differentiate, that is the additional information. So I'll add here one more section. Additional information. So in this additional information, I'll place the PAN number and the passport number. Perfect. Now candidate name, location. Let's place the qualification here, years of experience here. Owner ID is, yeah, let's keep it owner ID here. And then notice period. Click on save. So my page layout is ready. So what I'll do is I'll just refresh the candidate object. And I'll click on a new button. Now I can see all the information. So far, no relationships are there. So for example, if I'm creating any data here, let's say that Sandeep Kumar, right? So location, I'll give some random location, qualification, BSc, years of experience, 2 years, notice period, 15 days, and some number here, CTC, and expected PAN number, I'll just give some data. And the passport number, I'll give the same passport number, contact details, phone number, and then we have an email address. And the technical skills, assume that the person is advanced Java skills, the person is having it, I'll click on a create, save. So as soon as I create a save button, see here, immediately the reference ID, it's always starts with CID 0001. Why it is starting with CID 001? What is the reason why it is starting the 001?
Because we gave auto number.
We have
Auto
saved.
number, we have to take the data type.
Yes, so the auto number, we gave the CID 001 and the starting number we mentioned as a 1. If I create a new record, it will be +1, so 0002. So like this, we will be seeing all the candidates' records. Now let's go to the schema builder. So let's open up the schema builder. So the use case is configure the master detail relationship between position and candidate object. So let me take position and candidate object, custom object, clear all. Custom object, candidate, and position. Right now, these two objects are individual objects. Now the scenario is I need to implement master detail relationship between these two objects. So whenever we wanted to implement a relationship, what are the steps that we need to follow?
We have to check the parent and child, which one is parent and which one is child first.
We need to create a field at child object.
So first we need to identify the parent object and child object. Now in this case, which one is the child and which one is the parent?
Position is a parent, candidate is child.
So position is a parent object and child is a candidate object. Now we know what is the parent and what is the child. Now what is the step 2? Once we know that which one is the parent,
Need to create a field at child object.
Field.
we need to create a field into the child object. So
Child
let's
object.
go ahead and create. Now, candidate. So let's go ahead and create a new. And I'm selecting the master detail relationship. When I select a master detail relationship, click on next. And my parent is a position. Click on next. Yes, position. And here, observe this. Sharing setting and allow parenting. Sharing setting and allow parenting. Here we have a sharing setting, 2 options. This is for the master detail relationship. For the master detail relationship, while creating the field, it asks about the sharing setting. That means developer has to decide what it is saying, that select the minimum access level required on the master record to create, edit, delete the related details. That means, do you want a read-only option or a read-write? So when I say read-only, allow user with at least a read access to the master record to the create, edit, delete related details. That means, for example, not the system admin, but they assume that there are some standard users or a different community users are there. Okay. Now we wanted to show them the parent record, but the data has to be only read access. Or if you want only read write, allow user with at least read write access to master record to create, edit, and delete related records. So by default, it is a read write. That means user will be able to read it and edit it. This is on top of the OWD. Okay, on top of the, like if it is a OWD is public read write, then definitely user will have a read write access. But if you are specifying the private, then read write will not be happen. That is for only the person who has created, right? And allow parenting. So allow parenting, by default, it is off. That means once you link, once you add your child record to the parent record, that means you are linking the record from the child to parent. Once you link it, you will not be able to modify the parent record. You will not be able to modify the record if it is a off. When it is a off, once you have selected the parent record, only one time you can select the parent record. If you have by mistakenly selected some other records, if you wanted to modify, you cannot modify. If you check this, then only you will be able to modify the or reparent the master detail parent record. The parent record can be reparented if it is a checked. So for now, I'm making it as a by default. Whatever right now Salesforce is providing, I'm going with the same thing. I'll show you this allow parenting and then click on it next. Now, master detail relationship position. And this is what? And this is the fourth, establishing the field level security for references, and click on it next. Next, we have a page layout. Now, when I click on a next button, okay, if I click on a next button, it will ask me to save the record. Basically, adding this, whatever the related list field is there, it will be added into the related list. In the candidate object, you will be able to see this related list. But if I click on a save button, what will happen? Ideally, the field should be created. Ideally, the field should be created, but it will throw an error. Click on a save. Cannot create a master detail relationship. Cannot create a master detail relationship. It says that you cannot create a new master detail relationship on existing custom object if the records are already exist. That means in your candidate object, if you have any records, you will not be able to create a master detail relationship. That means, assume that initially the client has given the requirement just to create an object, and then they gave us to load the record here. So we have loaded the record. That is done. Now, second thing they are saying that now we wanted to create a master detail relationship. You cannot create a master detail relationship once you have the record inside the object. Once you have the records inside the object. So either there are two options are there. Either you can delete the record completely, whatever the records are there, you can delete the record, or else you need to export these records, because if you think that, okay, I have it 20,000 records or 50,000 records. So in that case, by using the data loader, export everything and keep it in your local system and then delete the record. Once it is done, what you can do is you can create it. So what it is saying, either two ways. One way is directly delete the record. Second way is create a lookup relationship first. First, create a lookup relationship and then enter all the relationship fields, right? So enter the related list. That means link the field onto the lookup relationship. Then change the relationship from lookup to the master detail relationship. So two options are there. Either you delete all the records, or else first create a lookup relationship and then update all your records with the lookup relationship field and then convert that into the master detail relationship. Clear? So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this record. Delete. Now, click on here. Now again, click on new button. Master detail relationship, click on a next. Now we have a patient position. Click on next. Perfect. I'm going with the by default options. Click on next, next, and related list. Yes, save it. Right now, I can able to see the master detail relationship has been implemented for the position, right? So master detail relationship is implemented. Now, if I refresh the schema builder, I can see the relation between the candidate and position object, right? So candidate is a child and position is the parent. Right, so one parent can be linked to the multiple position, multiple candidates. Now I'll go to the candidate, click on a new button. Let me refresh. Now I can see the position. Now observe this. While creating the child record, this is a child record. While creating the child record, every time the master detail relationship field is mandatory. That means each child record has to link with the parent. Without linking with the parent, you cannot create a child record. So while creating a child record, you need to fill this parent lookup, whatever the lookup field is there here, you need to fill up the lookup field. So if you are not linking or if you are not associating with the parent record, your system will not allow the developer or users or anybody who are using the Salesforce, it will not allow them to create a record. This is a must. A child and parent has to be linked. Parent and child has to be linked. So the first observation is, so while mapping the master detail association, if the child object contains the record, then master detail association cannot be applicable. This is the first one. When we have a records in the child object, we cannot create the master detail relationship. So solution one is remove all the child records from the child object permanently and then map the master detail relationship. This is what we have faced the issue. So what I have done, I have deleted the child record. So solution 2 is first create a lookup relationship between the two objects and fill the data into the lookup relationship, and then convert the lookup relationship into the master detail relationship. And next observation which we have seen is master detail association provides one-to-many association by default. That means a parent record can be associated with one or more child records. And then while creating a child record, lookup field is mandatory. So that means each child record should be associated with the parent record. Associated with the parent record. For example, let's create a one record. So let's take Ananya. So location, Hyderabad, notice period 15 days, qualification, BTech, years of experience, 3 years, position, developer, and the CTC, some number I'm giving. And okay, so PAN number, same number, I'm placing the passport number also, contact number, and then we have a Gmail. Technical skills, assume that Apex, and click on save. Now the record has been created. My record is now 002 because this is the second record that we have created. Now, so this position record, if you observe this, whenever I hover on any field, the inline editing is, I can able to see what is that inline editing means. If I hover this and click on this, what will happen? I can able to edit this record. I can able to edit that particular field or a record. I can do that. But on the master detail relationship, when I hover on the master detail relationship, I cannot see any pencil icon. Let's assume that there are two developers are there. Okay. So developer position in Hyderabad, developer position in Bangalore. There are two positions are there. So by mistakenly, I have linked into developer position Bangalore. So it has to be actually, Ananya has to be placed into the developer position in Hyderabad. So by mistakenly, we have created this. Now how to change it? It's not, I cannot change anything here. I cannot change anything because there is no way that I can edit. The pencil icon is not displaying. If I click on a edit, still I cannot able to edit the record. So that means, do I need to delete this record and recreate again one more? Not necessary. We have a one option in the field relationship. If you go to the master detail relationship and click on a edit. So we were discussing about the allow reparenting. So if I check this, now we have a option to reparent the record. So click on a save. Once I click on a save, and let's click on a refresh. Now I will be able to see the pencil icon. Okay, it's not coming. Okay. So I logged in different place. So now I can see that position is pencil icon is displaying. That means reparenting option is not editable by default. By default, reparenting option is disabled. Reparenting option is disabled. Now, if we want reparenting to be happen, then we have to enable the option manually by selecting the allow reparenting while creating or editing the mask. Now what I can do is I can edit this position and I click on this developer and I can select another developer position, click on a save record. So what will happen? Now I have changed the position. Now I have changed the position. So that is the third observation. Reparenting option is not enabled by default. We have to enable the option manually by selecting the checkbox, allow reparenting while editing the master detail relationship field. Now we have created now it came pencil icon. Now we have created a record in the child record and we have linked it to the parent record. Now I'll go to the parent record. Now let's assume that if I delete this parent record, what will happen? In lookup relationship, what happened if I delete a parent record?
Value become
In child object, it clear the value.
we delete the parent, child
Only.
object.
Child object not be deleted, only clear the values in that object.
Right. Now, in this case, we have two positions. Two position. Where is location? Now, I have three positions here. Now, whatever is linked to this Ananya candidate, so position. So this position, I'm going to delete it. This position, I'm going to delete it. So let's say delete. Are you sure you wanted to delete the position? Yes. Record is deleted. Now I can see only the two records are there. Now what about the child record which is linked?
It is also deleted.
This will also delete it. That means while removing the parent record, all the related child records will get removed automatically by default. Now, in case if you wanted to bring it back, so go to the recycle bin. In the recycle bin, I can see only the parent record. I cannot see the child record. This is my parent record, but I cannot see the child record. Child record cannot be visible in the recycle bin. If I say restore, developer position, restore it. Now, if I say see all positions, now I can see all three are there here. Now, if I go back, refresh the candidate, I'm refreshing the same ID. Okay, the ID which was there, the same ID. So when I restore back the parent record, automatically the child is also restoring it. If I'm restoring the parent record, automatically the child record also restore will happen. Now the fourth point is while removing the parent record, all the related child records will get removed automatically by default, as well as if I restore back the data, of the parent record, automatically the child record also will be restored. Now, observe this. Ideally, whenever we create a custom object, we all know that there are 5 fields which will be created. Right? Owner ID, name, last modified, created by, and the ID. Similarly, for candidate also 5 fields are created. Okay. So I'll just take you back to the page layout. In the page layout, I have added all my fields. In the page layout, all I have added the fields. So owner ID. So I have created everything here. I have a owner ID in the candidate. Okay, it was there. But as soon as we implement a master detail relationship, we cannot see owner field on the child object. We cannot see owner ID field on the child object. As soon as, whenever we created the candidate object, we can see the owner ID field. That is perfectly fine. As soon as I implement a relationship with another object, master detail relationship, I cannot see any owner ID field in the candidate. If you go to the fields level or a page layout, you cannot see anywhere, right? So you cannot see the owner ID field. Even if you go to the page layout, or if you open the page layout, the owner ID is not displayed. What is the reason here? The reason is whenever we implement a relationship, master detail relationship between the 2 objects. So let's go to the sharing setting. Now, candidate object. What it says, controlled by parent. Candidate, what it says, controlled by parent. Who is the parent? Position is the parent. Controlled by parent. All the sharing settings, security settings of the child component, child record is purely dependent on the parent record. Whatever the parent record access is there, that the same access is applied to the child record. Similarly, right now somebody is creating the candidate, but I cannot see who is the owner of this. Nowhere I can see who is the owner of this record. If I wanted to identify who is the owner of this record, I need to go to the developer, the parent record. In the parent record, I can see the owner ID. I can see the owner ID. Okay. So let's go to the position. Fields. So now we have your owner ID here. Go to the page layout, position page layout. Now here we can see the owner, right? For master detail relationship, if you wanted to know who is my owner on the child object record, we cannot see on the child object record. You have to always redirect it to the parent record. In the parent record, you can see owner. So that means this is the same owner. Whatever the access is there for this owner, the same access will be applied to this records also. The same sharing setting or security settings or whatever is there. If that owner is a community user, that owner is a standard user, or that owner is a Salesforce platform user, whatever the access is there for that owner, okay, the same access will be applied on the child also. So sharing setting and security settings of the child record is purely depends on the parent record. And in master detail association, parent record contains the owner field where child record does not have child record or owner record, it does not have. Just a second. Child record does not have the owner field. So that is the next observation. That means parent record owner will get the ownership of the related child records also. And now we have some limitations on the master detail relationship. We have limitations on the master detail relationship. Now, how many lookup relationship can we create on the object level?
14.
40 lookup relationship we can create it. But whereas for the master detail relationship, we can create only 2 master detail relationships. That means an object can have a maximum of 2 master detail relationship. We cannot have more than that. And 2 is enough in the real time. And next, for the master detail relationship, roll-up summary field can be applicable on the master detail association object. Roll-up summary field is a different topic we will discuss. That needs to be have a detailed discussion on the roll-up summary field. Now, in master detail relationship, as I have explained last time, if I have a child object as a standard object, then we cannot create master detail relationship, right? If my child object is a standard object, then we cannot implement our master detail relationship. Only we can implement the master detail relationship when we have a child as a custom object. So standard object should be always a parent. It should not be a child object. Any questions so far? Any questions before I move on? Okay. So far, whatever we have discussed till now, okay, almost everything is you have to, whatever we covered, it's almost difference between the master detail relationship and lookup relationship. When we have discussed the lookup relationship, like we can create a 40 lookup relationship per object, 2 relationship fields per object here. So similarly, like we have a different, whatever we have discussed, everything is a differences between the master detail relationship and lookup relationship. This question you might get it in some of the interview, but if you don't remember all of this, maximum there are 5 or 6 points which you have to remember. So let's say that child record must have the parent. That means whenever we are creating the child record, a master detail relationship field is mandatory, has to be linked with the parent. Lookup relationship, it's an optional, no parent is required. Remember the first one. And the second one is sharing setting, security setting of the child record is purely depends on the parent record, controlled by parent. Whereas lookup relationship, no impact on the security. This is the second point, you can remember this. And the third one is roll-up summary fields on parent object. You can create a roll-up summary field on parent object. Lookup relationship, you cannot create roll-up summary field. This is the third point. Fourth point is standard object cannot be a detailed object. That means you cannot create a master detail relationship You cannot create a standard object. Like if you have a standard object as a child object, you cannot create that. In this lookup relationship, there is no restriction. So the last point which I'm talking about, this one. So for lookup relationship, there is a no restriction, whether it is a child object is custom, child object is standard, you can always implement lookup relationship. But whereas a master detail relationship, you need to have a child object as a custom object. So if you remember this 4 or 5 fields, that should be all fine. Any questions so far? Master detail relationship. Okay. Now homework. Configure the master detail relationship between the student and department object and list out all the observation. And second one, configure the master detail relationship between the patient and account object and list out all the observation. Will you able to create a master detail relationship between the patient and account?
Which is standard? Which is parent?
Yes.
Parent is which one? Patient or account?
Account is
Account is parent.
parent. Patient
Okay.
is child.
child.
Child is custom. Possible.
Possible, yes. Now questions, how to reparent the master detail lookup field on a child record?
Enable the
While creation of the master detail
While
relationship,
creation
we
of-
can check the reparent.
While creating the
Reparent.
master detail field, we have to check that reparenting.
Allow reparenting option we need to enable. How many master detail relationship can be created per object?
2 master.
Two.
Maximum 2.
Maximum of 2, minimum 1.
Yeah. Differences between the lookup relationship and master detail relationship?
In lookup parent field
Master
not be
master detail
mandatory. Master
relationship
detail
child
parent
must
be
be
mandatory.
parent. Lookup has optional.
Roll-up simply
Sharing
fails
and
in
security
the-
rules are only in master detail. Lookup has not that influence. Roll-up summary is possible for master detail. Standard object. If you have master object, child is must be custom. No restriction to lookup.
Right. Can I implement the master detail relationship between the 2 objects? So account is the parent, branch is the child.
No.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes, no.
We can implement.
Branch.
Now, converting a lookup to master detail relationship. So far, we have understood what is the lookup relationship, what is the master detail relationship. Let's assume that client has given a requirement to create a lookup relationship initially, but later they came up with saying that no, users or internal team members, they are creating the child record, but while creating the child record, they are not linking the parent record. So can you make somehow the parent record as a mandatory and it has to be tightly bound? If they say that, then we have to convert the lookup relationship to master detail relationship. But when we are converting the lookup relationship to master detail relationship, like let's assume that we know that lookup relationship is a data type. It's a data type. And even master detail relationship also data type. That means converting the lookup to the master detail is nothing but I'm changing one data type to another data type. I'm changing one data type to another data type. So that means in order to change that, what we have to do. So let's talk. Okay. So this is basically I'm converting from one data type to another data type. So, but while converting this, do I need to take care of anything? So converting the lookup relationship to master detail relationship means we are changing the data type of the field from lookup to master detail relationship. That is the basic technically. But when I'm changing it, do I need to consider any of the existing system records, any of the record or anything that I need to consider it? Yes, there are some precautions or prerequisite before converting the lookup to master detail relationship. You need to first check whether my child record has any records. That means child object has a record and these records are associated with the parent record or not. That means when I'm converting the lookup to parent, this is my lookup relationship. This is my lookup relationship. This is my parent master detail relationship. Now here, when I say lookup relationship and this is master detail relationship, when I say lookup, it's not a mandatory field. But when I convert this field as a mandatory, it is immediately goes to the mandatory field. So while converting the master detail from the lookup to the master detail, what it is going to check is, is there any value in this field? Is there any value in this field? So basically the backend Salesforce is going to verify that if I have already 10,000 records in this object, 10,000 records in this object, and now I'm converting the data type from the lookup to master detail relationship. If I'm converting the lookup to master detail relationship, what Salesforce does is Salesforce cross verifies all the 10,000 records to check whether that particular field has a value or not, because I know lookup is not mandatory. Lookup relationship is a not mandatory field. So if it is a field value is not there, then Salesforce gives the error saying that I cannot convert lookup to master, because there are few records where it says that lookup relationship is empty. The value, there is no value into it. There are 10 records that does not have any value into this field, the lookup relationship field, or in the lookup field, we do not have any value. So first update this value here, then convert the lookup to master. So whenever we are converting from the lookup to master, always cross verify the lookup field in the child record. Always cross verify the lookup field in the child record. Now, what is the navigation steps here? So navigation steps are click on a child object, assume that position, and then go to the custom field relationship section, and then click on a edit and link to the relationship and change the field type button. Changing the lookup. Initially it was a lookup and then we are changing to master detail relationship, and click on a next button and click on a save button. Now we had created a long, I think 2 sessions back, that we have some lookup relationship on the position object. The lookup relationship between the hiring manager and position. Now, if I'm changing the relationship, now if click on a edit button, now we have an option called change field type. Now let's go to the position object here. So let me open the records. Now I have 3 records here. Click on a developer, hiring. Now let me change this. Okay, so first let me update the lookup relationship as an optional. Click on save. Now refresh. Now let's click on edit. Now still it is showing. Okay, so now let's go to the location and let's click on Bangalore, remove the hiring manager, click on the save button. What? Let's change that to optional. Now, let me refresh. Okay, let me remove the lookup field completely. Click on save, refresh. Okay, so let's go to the sales. And let's go to the position. Now, developer. Let me change location, Bangalore, and remove this, click on it, save button. Okay. Now, out of three positions, one position does not have any hiring manager. Okay, two of them does not have any hiring manager. Now, what I'll do is I'll convert the relationship between the position and hiring manager from lookup to master detail. Now let's go ahead and see that. So we have a master detail lookup relationship implemented here. So I'll click on it, change field type. When I click on it, change field type, it will take me back to the choosing the field type. So whenever I'm changing the data type from lookup relationship to master detail relationship, I'll not get any other data types. Only two data types which I'll get it, lookup relationship and master detail relationship. I cannot see text, checkbox or date, time. Those fields will not be visible. Those data types will not be visible. So whenever you have a existing lookup relationship, if you wanted to change the field type, you can only change the field data type from the lookup to master detail relationship. You cannot change the lookup to the text, lookup to the date, lookup to the date time. You cannot do that. So if I click on a master detail relationship, click on a next. Now, perfect. Now click on a save button. It's giving me the error message saying that you cannot create a new master detail relationship on existing custom object if the records are existing. You must create a lookup relationship. That's the same error when we created a master detail relationship between the candidate and position object. So that's the same error it is giving me here also. The reason is we do not have a hiring manager here. So what I'll do is I'll click on this, I'll select Akash and I'll click on this, edit and select new HR and click on save. Item 3 has error displayed. Okay, location is not there. Click on save. Now the records are updated. Now let's go back to the same page. Go back. Now change field type. Select the master detail relationship. Click on in next. And then that's all. So all master detail relationship features are came here and then click on the save button. Now I can see that master detail relationship has been implemented. I can see master detail relationship has been implemented. Now that is converting lookup to master. If I take convert master detail to lookup, if I need to convert, I just know I converted from the lookup to master. But in case if I wanted to convert from the master to lookup, do I have any prerequisites if I have to convert in the reverse direction? Before we did lookup to master, now we are doing master detail to lookup. Now if I'm changing the data type from master detail to lookup, do I need to cross verify anything?
I think
Sorry?
I think no.
So we cannot need to do anything because we are changing the data type from master to lookup. That means from mandatory to the not required field. We are changing to not required field.
Optional.
but
Yes.
Swapna, I think we need to take care of roll-up summary field, right?
Yeah. So we are not talking about the roll-up summary here. Just converting the master to lookup. So in case if you have a roll-up summary field, that's a different option together. When we talk about the roll-up summary, that time again we are going to talk about this converting the master detail to lookup. So converting the master detail to lookup, the straightforward option. So directly we can change the data type from the relationship field from the master detail to lookup. If you have a roll-up summary, that's altogether a different topic. So we will take care of during the roll-up summary discussion. Now, any questions on the converting master detail to lookup? Okay. So homework, convert the lookup relationship between the student and book object to master detail relationship. I have given a assignment or a homework in the lookup relationship to implement a lookup relationship between the student and books. So in this scenario, I'm saying that convert that lookup relation to master detail relationship. Similarly, there is a project and team member, which I already gave during the lookup relationship discussion. So when we are converting the lookup relationship between the project and team member, convert that into the master detail relationship. Convert the lookup relationship to the master detail relationship for the project and team member. So these are the two. Now, any questions before I move on? Okay. Next, we are going to talk about the many-to-many relationship. So far, whatever we have discussed between the two objects. I have a one object here, one object here. And what I did is I just implemented the relationship between these two objects by thinking that this is a parent or this is a child object, and I have created a one lookup relationship on the child object, and then we are referring the parent object here. Now, this is what we have done so far. Now, in this case, many-to-many relationship. Many-to-many relationship. Let's take an example. I have a books object is there. books object is there, and I have a author object is there, author object. And now in this case, which one is a parent, which one is a child?
Parent is
Author,
author.
Child.
Parent and such.
So that means we know that one author can write multiple books, right? Now let's take a scenario that I have an author object. That means there is an author table. The object is there. In that object, I have a author ID, author name, location. So these are the three fields which are there. And this is the author object. And there is another object which I have a books object, where is a book ID, book title, and there is a price to book. Now assume these are the separate two objects. These are separate two objects. This is one independent object. This is another independent object. Now in the author, we have a different records are there. Okay, this is assume that this is author ID is a auto number or some ID is there. Okay, and now here this is assume that it is a 18-digit ID. Here author name and the location is US. So like this, John USA, Chetan India, Robert UK, Vivekananda India, Balaguru Swami India. Okay, so these are the authors randomly I have collected. Okay, now there are in the book object, we have a few records. This is the 18-digit ID, assume that P405, and the titles book is a Java program. The price is 600. Manual testing book is $400. ASP.NET book is $700. Oracle SQL is a $1050, and C is a $300. Now it is possible that these are the books might have written by multiple authors. That means now I have a Java program book. This program is where John is involved while writing this book, and Balaguru Swami is also involved into this, and then Vivekananda is also involved into this. That means all these three authors together, they have implemented a Java program book. While writing this book, these three members are already involved into this. So like this, manual testing. For manual testing, Vivekananda and Chetan both were involved while writing this book. And similarly, ASP.NET. ASP.NET is implemented by Robert and John. Similarly, Oracle SQL. Oracle SQL is also implemented by Chetan and Robert. Similarly, C is implemented by Robert and then Balaguru Swami. So this is the normal general scenario. Okay, now I know complete picture here. Now I know complete picture who all implemented which all are books. Who all implemented which all are books. Now, as per our discussion, we thought that author is a parent and book is a child. Author is a parent and book is a child. Now, so far, whatever you have observed, whenever we are creating a record, I can link only one parent record here. Only one parent record, I can link it. Okay, so you cannot create a master detail relationship more than 2. Maximum 2 you can create it. Now here I have a 3 members, 4 members who are written the book. Now if I have to link, now I cannot take here 4 members, 5 members. It is only says that, okay, you can select only 1 member. I cannot select 2 members here, right? I cannot select 2 members. So in case, if I assume that, okay, author is a parent. This is a parent. And this is a child. This is a child. Now I need one field. I need a field which says that I need a field here which says that, okay, this person has written this book. So if it is a parent and this is a child, right? So that means I need to create a record here in the relationship in the child object. I need to create a relationship in the child object. That means in the child object, I need to create a relationship. Assume that author ID. Now, if I say author ID here, B405 is written by 3 members. John, Vivekananda and Balaguru Swami. These 3 members are written the book. In this scenario, I cannot, if I have to take 3 members' name, 1, 2, 3, 3 members' name I need here. That means multiple option values I need to take it up here, which is not possible using the master detail relationship and lookup relationship. So this is also, it cannot work. If I say parent this and parent this, author and child this, it is not going to work. But in case if I say that this is a child and this is a parent. In case if I say this is a child and this is a parent. Similarly, here I'll be having a book ID. Now, this John has written JavaScript, Java program as well as ASP.NET. John has written Java program as well as ASP book. That means 1, 3. So which is not possible. I cannot store it. So this is also, I cannot decide this is a parent and child. This is also not right. So by looking at this scenario, where I can see that my relationships are multiple, that means one author is connected to the multiple books and one book is connected to multiple author. One author is connected to multiple books, one book is connected to multiple author. Which is in this scenario, I cannot make child, parent, parent, child, I cannot make it. So what is the best way to define it here is, as we have one author is writing the multiple books and one book is written by the multiple author. That means in this case, let's make the author object as a parent and book object is also parent. Let's make author object as a parent, book object is also parent. Now, in this scenario, okay, fine, both are parent. But where do I need to create a lookup relationship? Do I need to create a here or do I need to create a here? Ideally, as per we understood, lookup relationships are already, only we create it on child. Only we create it on child object. We cannot create it on parent. Now, if you say that both are parent here, now in case both are parent, where are we going to create a relationship? Where are we going to create a relationship? So what I'm going to say here is many to many relationship we cannot implement between 2 objects. Between 2 objects, we cannot implement a many to many relationship. If you want to implement a many to many relationship, you need to have a third object. You need to have a third object. There should be a third object in case if you wanted to implement many to many relationship. In case if you wanted to implement many to many relationship, you need to have another object. And assume that this object is having this ID, author ID, and the book ID, number of pages. And this is a book authors. Book authors, this is a child object. This is a child object. In this child object, I'll be creating the lookup relationship for the author, lookup relationship for book object. What kind of a relationship we will discuss, hold on it, but we need to create a lookup relationship. I need to create a 2 lookup relationship here. That means if I create this object here, book author child, that is perfectly fine. Author ID, which is pointing to author object, and what type of a relationship? and the book ID, whatever is there, it is going to be book object. And the relationship which we are going to implement is master detail relationship. Master detail relationship. Now this also master detail relationship. If you want to tightly bond this, okay, ideally we create a master detail relationship. Ideally we create a master detail relationship. But in case if you think that, okay, it's not a tightly bond, one is a master detail relationship, I need an author, but book is not mandatory. You can go with the lookup relationship. That's also fine. But if you ask me that I have one more object, can I add one more lookup relationship here? If you have a one more object, then you need to implement these two this object and one more object between these two. Again, you need to implement one more object here. So let's say that right now I'm talking about the two objects. So you can say that, okay, I have another object which says the cost. Now I want these three objects should be linked. Now, if you want these three objects should be linked, then first combine this, create a many-to-many relationship, and then again combine this, again create a one more many-to-many relationship. Because here I'll be having a ID, right? Here I'll be having a book author ID will be there. So this ID and the cost ID you will have. Take that and implement another many-to-many relationship. Now, so when we go here, book authors child component. Now, this is also called as a junction object. This is also called as a junction object. Many-to-many objects or many-to-many relationships are called as a junction object. Now they will ask a question, what is a junction object when you will implement it? So this is the scenario. This is the scenario.
Swapna?
Yeah.
Yeah, for junction object, can we have, rather than master detail relationship, can we have lookup relationship between the object?
Yes.
Okay. I mean to say like author object to book author and book author to book object. So we can have lookup relationship also, right?
So far, whatever we have implemented, it's a master detail relationship. So you can try whether it is possible or not.
Okay.
And right now, whatever I'm discussing many-to-many relationship, I'm not going to do the practical here. This is the assignment, okay? Because you know how to create a relationship. So what all the objects are going to be created. So whatever I'm explaining this, it's a homework. So that means you will be doing this. I'll not be doing this. There is no class session for this. Okay, it's a kind of a repeating session for the master detail relationship. Okay, so now here, junction object. So junction object should be always, it's always with both the parent with master detail relationship. So junction object will have always master detail relationship. So you can check the lookup relationship possible or not. So while doing the assignment, you can cross verify. Mostly it is not possible, the lookup relationship. So ideally the junction object should be always associated with both the parent with master detail relationship. Now author ID, I'm taking here A1001, book ID, that means this particular author, John has written B405 and number of pages, let's assume 900. And again, the same author is, how the records get stored is, first it will take this master detail relationship, this one, and this record, how many books are connected. So first it will go one by one. So this record, it is going to check all the book info records, right? So 1001 should check. It is going to check entire object records. So first it is checking the, okay, this person has written 2 books. That means B405 and there is another book B407, which is the ASP.NET. Now, is there any other record? Is there any other books are created by this John? No, only 2 are there. So next it will go to the A1002. So first it is going to check A1002 and it is going to cross verify which all are books he has written. So one is B406 and then the pages are 845. This person has written 2 books, another one B408 and 1400 number of pages, and then any other books he has written? No. Next it will go to the next author ID. So this next author ID will be A1003 and it will check B407 and then 1450. So this is how the data will be stored into the book author. So that means object 1 and object will be one-to-many relationship, object 2 to object 1, one-to-many relationship. So in case if you see that any real time, if the objects are associated with one-to-many relationship from both the end, from here to here, from here to here, that means it is a many-to-many association or a junction object. So many-to-many association is not possible between the 2 objects. If you wanted to implement a many-to-many relationship, you need to have another feature called child object, which associated with both the parents with master details relationship. And the child object is also referred as a junction object here. Child is also referred junction object. So junction should be always associated with the parent with master details, with master detail relationship. Now this is the assignment. So let's see the observation. So as I have mentioned, object 1 to object 2 will be one-to-one relationship. Object 2 to object 1 will be one-to-many relationship. Right? So many-to-many association is not possible between the 2 objects. And we can achieve this feature by creating the child object, which will associate it with the both parent with the master detail relationship. The child object is also referred as a junction object. So junction object should always be associated with parent with master detail relationship. Now, in case if you wanted to implement this scenario, okay, so what you have to do is you have to create first author object and then create a books object and then create a books author object. All 3 objects implemented individually. All 3 objects individually implemented. Once you implement all 3 objects, then create a related fields in all 3 objects. Whatever the related fields are there, like your author ID and author name, right? So location, author location, book name, what is the cost of the book, and in the book author, you need to create a number of pages. And then once it is implemented, then configure the master detail relationship between the book author and then author. So first implement the relationship between the book author and author. So this has to be master detail relationship. And the next one is configure the master detail relationship between the book author and book. So this also has to be master detail relationship. Any questions before I move on? So that is similar to what we have done the master detail relationship. There is no differences in that. So how many objects do we need in order to implement the many-to-many relationship?
3 objects.
3 or more.
So what is junction object?
1 object contains
Child
2
object
parents.
is a junction object. It contains combine of 2 parent objects.
Right. And what kind of a relationship can be implemented here?
Master detail relationship.
Okay. Next one, moving on, hierarchical relationship. So hierarchical relationship, you hardly see on any object. You hardly see on any object. So for example, if I go to the account, so let's go to the object manager. If I go to the account, fields and relationship, click on a new object. Now, you cannot see here hierarchical relationship. You cannot see hierarchical relationship. Hierarchical relationship is only available on the user object. Only available on the user object. So in the user object, if you go to the fields and relationship, click on a new button. Now you can see hierarchical relationship. So most of the standard object does not have it. One of the object which I have seen is user object. User is a standard object. Only on the user object we can see hierarchical relationship. So what is this hierarchical relationship? Let's understand. So hierarchical relationship is nothing but, let's take an example. I have an employee object. I have an employee object. In this employee object, so we have an employee ID, employee designation, manager. Employee ID, employee designation, and manager. Now let's take a first employee is, there is this one person, Ram Kumar is their CEO. Another person is Praveen, who is a project manager. And another person is Suresh, who is a technical lead. Another person is a Swati, who is senior software engineer. Another person is a Sunny, so who is junior software engineer. So everybody is working on their own task. Everybody is working on their own task. So junior member is working on some development, senior member is working on some lightning, and Suresh is working on some technical stuff, and Praveen is working on some project manager, like CEO is handling the company information, right? Everybody working on their own. But in the real time, once this person is done with their work, okay, this person, Sunny, has to report somebody saying that I have completed my work. Otherwise, how will everybody know that what is the task, whether it is completed, in progress, or somebody has to track it? Or if Sunny is going on a vacation, or Sunny is updating some timesheet, he submitted a timesheet, somebody has to approve whether the timesheet has added correctly or not, right? So somebody has to track on that. So in order to do that, so we need kind of a reporting structure. We need a reporting structure, like Praveen is reporting to Ram Kumar. Okay, so whatever is happening at the project level, he can report to Ram Kumar. Like Suresh is a technical lead. He is reporting to Praveen. And Swati is reporting to Suresh. And Sunny is reporting to Praveen. Assume that Sunny is reporting to Praveen. Now everybody has a connection. Everybody has a connection. That means this is a single employee table. This is my employee table. Within the employee table, I'm reconnecting back to this another person here. Reconnecting back to the another person, right? That means I'm building a hierarchy here, so that means if something is going wrong or something is happening with that person, I can track with this person. I can talk to this person and cross-verify that what happened to this task or what happened to other task, right? So this person is a responsible. This person is a responsible. That means what we are doing here, the parent and the child record will exist in the same object. Now you might ask the question that we have a self object. We have a self relationship. We have a self relationship. So if I go to the account object, and in the account object, I can create a lookup relationship by using the self relationship. That means this is the account record. Okay, the same account record can be connected to another account record. So this is also same scenario. Is that similar to the self relationship, self lookup relationship? I can say that it's a thin line between the hierarchical relationship and the self relationship, because self relationship tells that I am part of whatever this or record is there. So in the account, I have a business here. So let's assume that I have a DMart. Okay, DMart business record is there. I'm working in a DMart. So this is my individual person account. I'm the individual person account, but I am the part of this. I'm the part of this. That means I might come to you for a business purpose. So when you are looking at my record, or when I log into my record by using my record, I should have some access which my business has the access. We are talking about altogether different, but here what we are talking, it's a user perspective we are talking. We can map one user should be associated to another user. User perspective, I'm talking, the hierarchy I'm talking about, right? So whenever we have a kind of a user level we wanted to implement, we have to go with hierarchical relationship. Hierarchical relationship.
Swapna?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we have something called as role management as well, right? We have a field called role. In that also we manage, correct? Who reports to whom and approval and all those things. Then why do we need this hierarchical? What's the difference? When do we use this?
So role hierarchy, when you are playing the role hierarchy applies the sharing setting, all those things. We have all the sharing settings, record level sharing. We have discussed that, right? All the securities, whatever we have discussed, record level security or object level security or field level security. For all of this, we have a role hierarchy, which we are playing the role. Here, I'm talking about what is the responsible. This user is reporting to this person. That means I have a multiple users in my organization. I have multiple users in my organization. Now, for this organization, Salesforce org is used by the three clients. In the each client, I have a multiple users who are using this record. Now, what I can say is I can create for one client, I can create a one CEO user. Okay, for this CEO user, okay, you should be responsible whatever they are doing it. So another CEO, I'll create another record. For that, I'll link saying that, okay, you are responsible whatever they are doing it, right? So here I'll say that third client, and for the third client, we have only one user. I'll say that I'm linking to you because you are responsible whatever is happening on this behalf of this person. We are talking about the user level. These all three users are a different. One is a community user, one is a partner user, or one is a different user.
No, but consider the case, okay? There is
It does not apply any security here. Now, in role hierarchy, we have discussed about the manager.
Yeah.
And within the manager, like a CEO, within that we have a CTO, CFO, everything is there. If I share a record to the CFO, and within this, if I have a VP, okay, if I share a record to this person, can I implement just having this relationship? Can this person able to see? Just, I don't have a role hierarchy. I just implemented this hierarchical relationship.
no, it's not possible.
So that's the difference between the role hierarchy and hierarchical relationship.
Okay, now my question is, now suppose, okay, Sunny is a manager of Praveen.
Mm-hmm.
So we create a hierarchical relationship between them, okay? And I'm creating a role called manager. In that manager, I'm putting Sunny as a person who is a manager. His role is manager. Okay.
We are not talking about the sharing setting here. Sharing setting does not come here. Whether this role is a manager, this role is a different profile. Until unless you implement a role hierarchy, it cannot be happen. We are implementing a data type called hierarchical relationship data type. I'm not applying any security, any sharing settings. This is just a field data type. I'm creating it.
Okay.
So if we create a field data type here, so here this person is reporting to Praveen. Now in that case, what I can do is, now Praveen is reporting to Ram Kumar, right? So that means it should be here E001. And Suresh is reporting to Praveen. That means here the record is E002. Now Swati is reporting to Suresh, and then it is 003. E005 is reporting to Praveen. So it is just E002. So I'm just implementing a hierarchical relationship data type so that we know that who are reporting to whom. So this is only available on the user object. In the user object, we can see here, allow users to click a lookup icon and select another user from the pop-up list. It's a just selection of another user, right? So it's just a selection of another user. I'm just linking the another user in case this user is off or not available. Whom can I contact? The second, it's kind of a whenever you are filling the form, primary phone number, secondary phone number, right? So it is also similar like primary person, secondary person. So that means we have a, within this, we are connecting the, definitely when we are linking it, this manager, this record is nothing but here again, if I click on this E001, it is again jumping back to the same object with a different record. So hierarchical relationship allows to map the association of the object with itself. Both parent records and child records will exist in same object. And hierarchical relationship will be applicable for only user standard object. So we can map one user should be associated with another user. Now, any questions here? Okay. So how many objects does hierarchical relationship supports?
Only one more.
Only one object.
Okay. So homework, create a hierarchical relationship. So we have a different users. If you go to the users record, we have a different users. Create a hierarchical relationship and link another user and see what note down all your observations. Fine. So what did we learn so far?
Master detail relationship, many to many relationship, junction object, difference between master and lookup, convert lookup to master, hierarchical relationship,
Many to many relationship.
convert master to
Hierarchy.
lookup.
Yeah. So total 7 points we have discussed. Tomorrow we'll discuss the roll-up summary, and yeah, we'll see a few more.
And Swapna, is it possible to have one-to-one relationship in Salesforce? Do we have that concept?
No.